How do you make your enemies fear you without a single threat, without raising your voice, without even saying a word? True power doesn't need noise. It's the quiet force that unsettles people, making them second-guess, hesitate, and fear what they can't predict. Imagine standing before a wild predator. Not growling, not attacking, just watching, motionless. That eerie calm is far more intimidating than any display of aggression. Or think of a chess grandmaster staring at the board, his opponent sweating, mind racing, trying to predict his next move, but seeing nothing. That's the power of being unreadable. When people don't know what you're thinking, they fear what you might do next. In this video, we'll explore 7 Stoic strategies that give you an unshakable presence. Master these, and your enemies won't just respect you, they'll fear what you might do next. Let's begin. Number 1. Control your emotions. One of the most powerful ways to command respect and make your enemies uneasy is by mastering your emotions. It sounds simple, but in practice, it's one of the hardest things to do. When someone tries to push your buttons, provoke you, or throw you off balance, the natural instinct is to react, whether through anger, frustration, or defensiveness. But here's the truth. Losing your temper is a sign of weakness. The moment you let someone dictate your emotions, you hand them control. If they see you flinch, get upset, or lash out, they've already won. Real strength lies in remaining composed, no matter what's thrown your way. Nothing unsettles an enemy more than someone who refuses to be rattled. When they try to get a rise out of you, and you remain unbothered, it forces them to second-guess themselves. People fear what they can't manipulate. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Think about that. Strength isn't about yelling, arguing, or proving a point. It's about staying grounded when chaos surrounds you. The ability to keep your emotions in check is the ultimate display of power. A lesson in control. Let me share a quick story. A man, let's call him Thomas, had a co-worker who constantly tried to provoke him. This person would make rude remarks, challenge his authority, and attempt to lure him into arguments. At first, Thomas took the bait. He defended himself, argued back, and let his frustration show. But then, he had a realization. Every time he reacted, he gave this person exactly what they wanted. So, he changed his approach. The next time an insult was thrown his way, he didn't respond. No anger, no frustration, just complete indifference. What happened? The provocations lost their power. His co-worker, frustrated by Thomas's unshakable composure, eventually gave up. Without a reaction to feed on, the attempts to stir conflict simply faded away. How to master your emotions. 1. Know your triggers. Identify what upsets you and why. Awareness is the first step toward control. 2. Stay present. Use deep breathing or mindfulness techniques to keep yourself grounded when tensions rise. 3. Recognize that emotional control is power. Keeping your cool isn't weakness. It's a tactical advantage. At the end of the day, true power doesn't come from how loudly you respond. It comes from how well you control yourself. When you master your emotions, you become untouchable. In a world full of chaos, your calmness will set you apart. Number 2. Cultivate an unshakable presence. Let's talk about the kind of presence that commands respect without saying a word. Real confidence isn't loud. It doesn't beg for attention or seek approval. Instead, it's quiet, steady, and undeniable. The kind that makes people take notice the moment you step into a room. When you carry yourself with this level of self-assurance, others can feel it. You don't have to prove anything because your presence alone speaks for you. It's not about arrogance. It's about knowing exactly who you are and not needing external validation. This is the kind of energy that makes people hesitate before challenging you. When you stand tall, move with purpose, and take up space unapologetically, you project strength without ever having to force it. Respect isn't demanded. It's earned through the way you exist in a room. The power of silence and composure. The ancient philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." Think about that. True power doesn't come from speaking the loudest. It comes from self-control. The person who doesn't rush to fill every silence, who isn't desperate to be noticed, is often the one who holds the most influence. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to prove anything, and that kind of certainty makes people pay attention. A lesson in presence. Let me tell you about someone. Let's call him Ethan. Ethan wasn't the loudest guy in the room. He never fought for attention, never tried to dominate conversations, but people respected him the moment they met him. Why? Because he carried himself with certainty. He stood straight, moved deliberately, and listened more than he spoke. When he did say something, people leaned in, not because he was loud, but because they knew his words carried weight. He didn't demand respect, he simply embodied it. And that made all the difference. How to develop an unshakable presence. First, stand with purpose. Keep your shoulders back, head high, and posture strong. How you carry yourself influences how others perceive you. 2. Move with intention. Every action should be deliberate, whether it's a handshake, a glance, or a step forward. Confidence is in the details. 3. Master the power of silence. Resist the urge to fill every quiet moment. Let your presence do the talking. At the end of the day, real strength isn't about proving yourself. It's about knowing who you are. So when you walk into a room, don't chase respect. Let your presence command it. Number 3, let your actions do the talking. Let's talk about something people often overlook. Letting your actions speak louder than your words. In a world full of empty promises and big talk, it's easy to get caught up in telling others what you're going to do. Everyone has ambitions, everyone has goals. But here's the reality. Talk is cheap. What truly defines you isn't what you say, it's what you do. Your discipline, your resilience, and your commitment to your craft will always reveal more about you than any words ever could. Instead of trying to convince people of your potential, let your actions prove it. When you stay focused and show up consistently, you won't need to explain yourself. People will take notice. They won't be drawn to what you promise. They'll be drawn to what you accomplish. The power of action over words. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that true character isn't built through speeches or declarations, but through action. Words can be twisted, exaggerated, or forgotten, but your actions, they leave no room for doubt. They are the proof of who you are and what you stand for. A lesson in action. Let me tell you about someone, let's call him Jack. Jack was always talking about his dreams. He had big plans and told anyone who would listen about the great things he was going to achieve. But months passed and nothing changed. People stopped taking him seriously. One day Jack realized something. No one was impressed by his words anymore, so he made a choice. He stopped talking and started working. Day by day he put in the effort. No announcements, no explanations, just consistent, focused action. And before long, people noticed. Not because he told them what he was doing, but because his results spoke for themselves. How to let your actions speak. 1. Stay consistent. Small, steady progress beats big talk every time. Show up and do the work. 2. Strive for excellence. Don't settle for average. Push yourself to be better in everything you do. 3. Develop resilience. Challenges will come, but your ability to persist is what sets you apart. At the end of the day, actions are what define you. They prove your dedication, your discipline, and your strength. So stop telling people what you're going to do. Show them, and let your results speak for themselves. Number 4, never overreact to insults. Let's talk about one of the most effective ways to maintain your composure and keep control of any situation. Never overreacting to insults. When someone throws an insult your way, the instinctive reaction is to defend yourself, fight back, or prove them wrong. But here's the truth. The moment you react emotionally, you hand them the power. Each time you let frustration or anger take over, you're showing them exactly how to push your buttons. You're giving them control over your emotions, and that's exactly what they want. But here's the game changer. Indifference is your greatest weapon. When you don't react, when their words don't shake you, you take back control. Suddenly, they're the ones left confused, wondering why they can't get a rise out of you. That uncertainty, that feeling of powerlessness, it eats at them. And in that moment, you've already won. The strength of staying unbothered. The Stoics understood this well. They taught that we can't control what others say or do, but we can control how we respond. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that. No one can dictate your emotions unless you let them. When you stay calm, you send a clear message. Their words mean nothing to you. And that frustrates them more than any comeback ever could. A lesson in indifference. Let me tell you about someone. Let's call her Linda. Linda had a co-worker who constantly tried to tear her down. Sarcastic remarks, backhanded compliments, even gossip behind her back. At first, she defended herself, trying to prove her worth. But every time she reacted, the insults only got worse. Then one day, Linda decided to stop playing the game. She stopped reacting. No explanations, no frustration, just pure indifference. And you know what happened? The insults faded. The power dynamic shifted. Without the reaction they craved, her coworker had nothing to feed off of. How to stay in control. 1. Be self-aware. Before reacting, take a breath. Recognize the situation for what it is. 2. Control your emotions. If you allow someone to trigger you, you're letting them win. 3. Master indifference. Not every insult deserves a response. Often, silence is the strongest reply. At the end of the day, real strength isn't about firing back. It's about not letting their words shake you in the first place. Stay calm, stay unbothered, and watch how quickly they lose their power over you. Never overreact to insults. When you stay calm, you take away their power. Comment, silence is strength if you agree. Number 5. Control what they know about you. Let's talk about a critical strategy for maintaining control over your life. Deciding what others know about you. In today's world, people are always watching, analyzing, and trying to figure you out. The more predictable you are, the easier it becomes for others to manipulate or take advantage of you. Whether it's your weaknesses, your ambitions, or your insecurities, every detail you expose gives someone potential leverage over you. The key? Keep them guessing. When people don't know your next move, they lose the ability to influence or control you. If they can't predict your reactions, they can't use your emotions against you. And that puts you in the strongest position possible. The power of selective sharing. This doesn't mean you have to lie or deceive people. It simply means not everything needs to be shared. Keeping certain aspects of your life private gives you control over your own narrative. It protects your peace and prevents others from steering your decisions. Sun Tzu put it best: appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. If people know all your strengths, they'll know where to challenge you. If they know all your struggles, they'll know where to attack. But if you maintain an element of mystery, you become impossible to pin down, and that makes you untouchable. A lesson in discretion. Take Chris, for example. Chris used to be an open book. He believed sharing everything, his goals, challenges, and even personal struggles would build trust with his co-workers. But over time, he noticed something. The very people he confided in began using his words against him. If he admitted struggling with a task, they'd subtly question his competence. If he spoke about his ambitions, they'd undermine his progress. So he changed his approach. He stopped oversharing and became more reserved. He spoke less, listened more, and let his actions do the talking. And suddenly, the dynamic shifted. His colleagues respected him more because they couldn't predict his every move. Without access to his vulnerabilities, they lost their ability to control the narrative. How to stay in control. 1. Be selective with your words. Not everyone needs to know your struggles, dreams, or weaknesses. Choose what to share wisely. 2. Embrace mystery. The less predictable you are, the harder it is for others to manipulate you. 3. Use strength strategically. Show confidence when necessary, and don't reveal your full hand unless it serves your purpose. At the end of the day, knowledge is power, and what people know about you gives them power over you. Keep your private world protected. Stay unpredictable. And watch how much harder it becomes for anyone to influence or undermine you. Number 6. Move in silence. Let success speak. Let's talk about one of the most effective strategies for achieving success. Keeping your power moves to yourself. In today's world, everyone rushes to share their plans, announcing their next big step before it even happens. But there's something incredibly powerful about moving in silence. When you keep your ambitions private, you eliminate distractions, avoid unnecessary criticism, and prevent anyone from interfering with your progress. The power of keeping quiet. Every time you reveal your next move, you give others a chance to question, doubt, or even sabotage your path, whether intentionally or not. Unsolicited opinions, negative energy, or unnecessary advice can throw you off course before you even start. But when you keep things to yourself, you remove outside influences. You stay focused, work undisturbed, and build momentum without anyone slowing you down. And when the results finally show, no one can argue with them. Let actions speak for you. Epictetus once said, "Do not explain your philosophy, embody it." That means your work should prove your worth, not your words. Instead of telling people what you're going to do, show them through your results. Let your consistency, discipline, and success make the statement for you. A lesson in moving in silence. Take Emma, for example. Emma used to share every goal she had, her business ideas, fitness plans, and career moves. She thought talking about them would hold her accountable and motivate her, but instead, it led to roadblocks. The more she talked, the more she faced doubt, unsolicited advice, and negativity. Eventually, she started questioning herself. Every outside opinion chipped away at her confidence, so she changed her strategy. She stopped talking and started working. No more announcing, no more justifying, just silent, focused action. And as she made progress, people stopped questioning her. They couldn't argue with results they hadn't seen coming. How to move in silence. 1. Keep your plans private. The less people know, the less they can interfere. 2. Focus on execution. Stop talking about what you'll do. Put that energy into making it happen. 3. Let results be your proof. When you succeed, your achievements will speak louder than any words ever could. At the end of the day, real power isn't in making announcements. It's in making things happen. Keep your ambitions to yourself. Stay locked in and let your success do all the talking. If you found this valuable, drop a comment and hit like. It helps more than you know. Let's keep winning, silently but powerfully. Number 7. Own who you are. No apologies needed. Let's talk about one of the most freeing things you can do. Embracing who you truly are without apology. In a world where people bend over backward to fit in, seek approval, and avoid standing out, there's something undeniably powerful about being authentically you. The moment you stop trying to please others and start living on your own terms, you become untouchable. The power of being unapologetically yourself. Here's the truth. When you stop seeking validation, you take back control. You no longer need approval to feel worthy, and that alone shifts the power dynamic. People respect those who don't chase acceptance, because confidence in who you are makes you stand out effortlessly. Not everyone will understand or accept you, but that's the beauty of it. The right people will appreciate you for who you are, and the wrong ones will drift away. Either way, you win. Live by your own rules. The Stoics knew this well. They taught that true strength comes from living by your own values, not bending to the expectations of others. Seeking approval is a trap that keeps you from real peace and independence. When you let go of that need, you unlock a level of freedom that few ever experience. A lesson in authenticity. Take Jake, for example. For years, he shaped himself to fit in, laughing at jokes he didn't find funny, downplaying his achievements, and avoiding conflict just to be liked. It was exhausting. And over time, he realized he was losing himself in the process. So, he made a change. He started speaking his mind, standing firm in his beliefs and letting go of the need to be liked. And the result? People respected him more. His confidence became magnetic, and most importantly, he no longer had to wear a mask just to belong. How to be unapologetically you. 1. Stop seeking validation. Your worth isn't up for debate. 2. Own your uniqueness. The very things that make you different are your greatest strengths. 3. Live by your own standards. When you stop letting others define you, you become unstoppable. At the end of the day, the moment you stop trying to fit in, you start standing out. Be yourself, unapologetically. Not to impress anyone, but because owning who you are is the ultimate power move. Power isn't about proving yourself to others, it's about controlling yourself. The less you react, the more control you have. So move with purpose. Speak only when necessary, and let your actions make the loudest statement. Which lesson stood out to you the most? Drop it in the comments below, and if this video gave you value, hit that like button to support the channel. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic.